September 27th, 2026. A calm and silent morning. In the heart of Tehran, inside a heavily secured complex, Iran's top leadership had gathered for a critical meeting. Outside, everything appeared normal. The city was moving at its usual pace, just like any other day. But in reality, at that exact moment, some of the world's most powerful intelligence agencies had their eyes locked on that very building. They believed that Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, was inside. According to multiple international sources, U.S. intelligence agencies were the first to detect unusual high-level movement within the complex. After months of surveillance, the gathered intelligence was quickly shared with Israel. And from that point, a covert joint operation began, one that would slowly escalate into something far more dangerous. For months, efforts had been underway to infiltrate Iran's communication networks. Satellite monitoring, CCTV hacking, and advanced intelligence analysis were used to track the movements of key leaders. The goal was not immediate destruction. The first objective was certainty, confirming the exact location of the target. Meanwhile, Iran remained confident in its security. With advanced defense systems and a powerful air defense shield surrounding the Razdani, it was widely believed that the leadership was fully protected. But this war didn't begin with weapons. It began with information. As more and more movement patterns were tracked, even the most secure locations started to appear vulnerable. Analysts believe this was the most critical phase of the entire operation, because without a confirmed target, no strike could ever succeed. And while all of this was happening behind the scenes, the people of Tehran had no idea. The city continued its normal rhythm, but in the shadows, the war had already begun. After a long phase of surveillance, the operation entered its most critical stage. The initial plan was not to strike directly. Instead, the strategy focused on overwhelming Iran's defense systems, keeping them busy and distracted so they wouldn't be able to respond effectively at the moment of the real attack. Reports suggest that the first objective was to temporarily weaken Tehran's air defense. For years, Iran had relied heavily on its radar systems and defense shield as its primary protection. So instead of targeting the main objective immediately, a series of diversionary attacks were launched. These attacks forced the defense forces to deal with multiple threats at once. Gradually, unusual activity began to unfold in Tehran's skies. Explosions were reported in different areas, keeping the security forces occupied. And in that very moment, a massive aerial operation was launched. Nearly 100 fighter jets from U.S. and Israeli bases reportedly took part in the mission, turning the situation into a large-scale, coordinated assault. Even then, many civilians inside the city didn't fully understand what was happening. Distant explosions were dismissed as limited military tension, but in reality, the attack was slowly narrowing down toward a single, highly secured complex. The turning point. At this stage, a critical mistake changed everything. According to security protocols, the leadership was supposed to be inside the deepest underground bunker, but instead they were located in a relatively less protected underground facility. Perhaps the situation wasn't considered serious enough, or maybe there wasn't enough time to relocate. But that single decision created a major opportunity for the attackers. All the intelligence gathered over months finally aligned. Analysts became certain the target was there, and with that confirmation, the final phase began. Within moments, powerful explosions shook the entire area. Multiple layers of defense systems collapsed. What was once considered an impenetrable location turned into rubble within seconds. Many inside didn't even have time to react. Everything changed instantly. Later, international analysts suggested that if the leadership had been inside a deeper, more secure bunker, the outcome might have been different. But in modern warfare, even a few minutes can change the course of history. After the explosions, a heavy silence fell over the area. Smoke and dust covered the heart of Tehran. Rescue teams rushed to the site, but it quickly became clear this was no ordinary attack. It was a carefully planned operation targeting Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and Iran's top leadership. Several high-ranking military and security officials were reportedly killed. Even the meeting itself, once meant to shape the nation's future security, turned into a scene of devastation. In the aftermath, grief and anger spread across Iran. Politically, the attack was seen as a direct violation of sovereignty. That day in Tehran, people realized something terrifying. War was no longer confined to borders, because when even the most secure locations are no longer safe, it raises a serious question. Is any country truly secure in the modern world? Yet history has shown us one thing again and again. You can strike leadership, but breaking the spirit of a nation is far more difficult. In many cases, such events give rise to new resistance. That day in Tehran was not just a story of destruction. It became a symbol of uncertainty, tension, and the beginning of potential future conflict. Because an attack may last only a few minutes, but its echo can live on in history for years.